Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll be doing a review on the Hayabusa T3 Tokushu leather boxing gloves. So check it out. Okay guys, so today I'm doing a close-up weigh-in and review on the Hayabusa Tokushu T3 leather boxing gloves. I got mine in 14 ounces. This is the full genuine leather version. I decided to get mine in the crimson colorway that has kind of a marble looking exterior design to it with kind of like those black marbleized spots. Kind of gives it more of a vintage look to it. I've done a review on the microfiber synthetic version before, and I've never tried the leather, but the leather to me is definitely better. You can see here it does have the Hayabusa logo that is embossed right there. Same design as the other T3 gloves. It has that stitching that goes over, and you have kind of this angular design that's kind of conical with the glove. The leather on it has more, I would say, a smooth matte like feel, but it feels really good. It has a really nice soft touch to it. You see the stitching right there. It uses a multi-layer foam padding over the knuckles. That's about medium to firm density. The actual glove itself is manufactured in China. You do have the Hayabusa logo, 14 ounces right there. The inside has this nice tricot microfiber liner that's really smooth and good wicking away moisture. And you have about, I'd say, an inch, a little over an inch of firm density padding on the back of the wrist. And I'd say maybe a quarter of an inch on the inside of the wrist. It does have the dual X closure system, which really is one of the better wrist support systems that's currently available for a boxing glove, which we'll go over in here in a second on how that works. So you have that little slot that the dual Velcro strap goes through. It says Tokushu, that's embossed in 14 ounces as well. The thread for the stitching is orange, which is kind of a nice, unique touch. You have the piece of elastic that connects the palm side, ventilated holes on the thumb. The grip bar is nice and big, I like that as well. You also have ventilated holes all along the palm as well as near the fingertip area, and you also have a leather attached thumb. So a really cool looking glove. You also have the Hayabusa that's embossed here as well. One thing I do like about these is they have a much more premium feel, and I like that they don't actually print. This is actually embossed into the leather, which is nice. It's kind of like it's branded, if you want to call it that. So here are the edges. Give you guys a close-up of the stitching. Here's the left glove as well. And there you have it. One thing about the padding on the back of this hand is these little diagonal lines of the actual padding. Is this padding right here over the knuckle is softer than the padding that's on the back of the hand. This is much more firm and stiffer, and the reason for that is that it gives you a lot more wrist and hand stability from the back of the wrist all the way up to right about here. And then from here, you have more flexibility in being able to open and close your hands to make a fist. And that's kind of the whole premise behind that. So let's go ahead and put these on the scale. See how much these weigh. The left glove is going to be right at 13.6, so just a tad underweight. And the right glove is right at 13.5. So they're exactly on weight with each other, and I'd say about a half ounce underweight, so not too bad. Let's go ahead and do the review. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the Hayabusa Tokushu T3 leather boxing gloves. I got mine in this crimson colorway, which is kind of like a maroon that has these little black marbleized design in the leather itself. You can also get this glove in black, white. They have another black color that's a little bit lighter that has the marbleization, a light brown, a gray, and I believe that's it. Sizing wise, you can get anywhere between 12 to 16 ounces. Their most popular version of the glove is going to be the Velcro version like you see here that uses this dual X closure system, but they also do make the Tokushu T3 in a lace up, which I haven't tried yet. Maybe down the road I'll try those out. So you have several colors to choose from. For the leather version of the glove, 3 different sizes, and then obviously the dual X closure system for the wrist. They make this glove also in synthetic, and it's about $40 cheaper than the genuine leather model. Now the leather model itself, the leather is described to be Italian leather, and it is definitely a nice high quality premium leather. The glove itself is manufactured in China, but the glove itself definitely has a much more premium and high-end feel. Now design-wise, looking at the glove, this glove is a little bit more on the stockier side as far as the length of the glove. It's not a very tall glove. Width-wise, I'd say it's about medium, and the looks of the glove is aesthetically pleasing. I like the look of it. You do have this Hayabusa logo that's embossed into the leather. The leather has more of a matte feel and touch to it, but it has a very nice, soft, almost velvety feel to the leather. Feels really high-end, high quality. It doesn't feel cheap, that's for sure. The back uses this kind of splinting, firm foam padding that basically, the whole premise behind this, aside from the dual X closure, is that the entire back of your hand gets that really nice locked in support all the way to the back of your hand up until right about here, where it goes from this harder foam to this softer density foam, which is going to be used for the punching surface when you land your punches inside the glove. So that's kind of the whole thought process behind that, with the multi-layer foam padding around the knuckles, and then going with kind of like a stiffer EVA padding for the back of the hand. And you can see how that works across with the hand right there. You have the Hayabusa right here embossed into the tab for the Velcro closure. And then what this glove is really most known for is going to be their dual X closure system. So you basically have a crisscrossing Velcro strap that really is nice and tight on your wrist. The actual tab itself has a nice piece of rubber. It's kind of rubberized, so when you're putting these gloves on, when you have one glove on already and you need to grab this tab, obviously you'll have a glove on your hand, you can grip it and you don't have to worry about having somebody to close this for you because it's too slippery. So you have that on that side, the Velcro strap, and then around here you can see how this kind of cuts through the little hole in the leather right there. And so basically what you end up doing is you slide your hand in. Once your hand's inside there, you want to grab this back tab, and then when you close this, you can see that this is elastic. So the elastic really pulls this tight. And then from there, you can push that down. So that gives you really that initial locked in feel. Without even putting the exterior Velcro strap on, I already feel a good amount of support. You have that inch of firm density padding on the back of the wrist. You also have about a 1/4 inch on the inside. But when you put the top strap on, it goes the other direction. So that's why it's kind of has that X pattern, because you're going one way with the inside strap and then you're coming back the other way with the outside strap. So now around the lower portion of the wrist, all the way up in here, you can see how this Velcro strap is integrated into the inside palm. You also have that EVA padding right here. So you're essentially kind of getting this locked in feel of this harder density foam right here. So that's really nice and firm. You have the firm padding on the back of the wrist. So from all the way down here, this padding is nice and stiff all the way up right here. And it kind of ends where you have a little bit more of a softer leather. And so you're really getting a locked in feel. I'm kind of putting my hand diagonally to show you where you really feel that wrist support that doesn't allow your wrist to really bend. And then when you rotate around on the back of the hand, it feels really locked in on the back of the hand. I'd say the closest thing to this as far as feel, and that's actually a little bit better than this, would be the Onyx X Factors, which kind of uses a similar system with the crisscrossing, but it uses an additional strap that kind of goes up higher on this portion of your wrist and your bottom part of your palm on your hand. So that's the dual X closure system. One thing I'll mention with this is that you can go too tight with this, and I did it a couple of times when I was training with these gloves, is that when you tie down the initial first strap. If you go too tight with it, you'll notice that your wrist feels like it's getting kind of pinched and choked off. And what ends up happening is my hand started to hurt a little bit because I tightened this down way too much and it kind of cut off the circulation in my hand. So there is the chance that you do go too tight. So just make sure that when you do tighten this down, obviously you want to get a good ample amount of support, but you don't have to go too crazy with it and make it so tight to where it feels like your hand is getting choked off, which is not a bad thing because again, you can adjust it completely to the tightness you want to, and that's the really good thing about it is you have that ability to do so. So inside nice tri-cot liner is really nice and smooth. The 14-ounce tag right there, it also shows that it's made in China. You have the same colored piping right there. On the palm side, you have the Tokushu 14 ounces embossed right here. That firmer density padding on the Velcro strap, and it kind of comes up right about here. The elastic that keeps that together. The ventilated holes on the palm as well as on the thumb. Nice large grip bar, and the leather attached thumb as well. Quality-wise, these gloves are actually really nice. I'd say the big opportunity with these is going to be the stitching in certain small spots. You know, like right here, you can see some of the stitching. It's kind of has a little extra popping up. You have a little stitch right there. That's kind of coming undone. Some of the stitching on the bottom cuff where the piping's at could have been done cleaner. You know, right here as well. Some of the stitching right there. And that's really it. Honestly, these are really well-built gloves. You can see, you know, the areas where the thumb is at. The leather itself is nice and consistent. No bubbling inside the foam, inside the leather. The outside edge right here, you can see they did a nice job of kind of rolling the leather into each other and stitching. You know, you can see a little bit of stitching kind of showing, but nothing too crazy that I would, you know, point out and say, okay, that's a huge flaw. The glove, the palm side right there, all the stitching looks nice and even and symmetrical. The stitching between these little planks on the back of the glove does look really clean as well. One good thing is that the stitching is not over the knuckle area, the striking area. So thankfully, you know, you're not gonna have to really worry too much about, you know, the stitching right here being an issue as far as cutting your partner, because it doesn't feel sharp at all. It's nice and smooth and soft. And again, it's not too far forward where you're gonna be landing your punches here, which is a nice, clean, flat punching surface right there. But overall, it's really clean and done really nicely. Comfort of the gloves is they're definitely very comfortable. You slide these in, and you'll notice that Hayabusa has done a really nice job of doing their homework. As long as they're listening to what people out there are saying, what they can do better with their boxing gloves. Not just their boxing gloves, but boxing gloves in general, and then they adapt it to their own models. So these are definitely very comfortable. My thumb feels excellent, nice, excellent thumb position, parallel with the glove. The wrist support, which I went over earlier, is awesome as well. Really nice there. They did a good job of the liner. It doesn't bunch up at all. There's no excess liner in the inside of the hand. Nice deep finger compartment. They did cover the stitching, so you do have a couple pieces of neoprene that you can feel your fingers sink down in, and it almost makes an impression. I mentioned this in other glove videos before that actually had that material, is the more that you use this glove, it almost like takes the form and the shape of your hand, especially in the finger compartment. And the thumb feels really good. One big thing I like about these gloves in the leather compared to the synthetic is I feel that these gloves are a little softer and a little bit more pliable even when they're brand new. So to me, there's a less break-in period with these gloves. I can actually open and close my hands much easier than the synthetic model. And I just think the synthetics are a little stiffer material-wise, that it doesn't allow you to open and close and expand your hand like you can with the leather. So I'm definitely a fan of the leather model of these gloves because you can open and close your hand, and I'm a big fan of broken-in gloves. So you still have the rigidity of the firmer padding on the back to kind of keep your wrist nice and in line. But the fact that this section right here is a little bit more flexible is really nice. So definitely super comfortable gloves. The cuff isn't too long as well. So for those of you that don't really like the super long cuffs, then this would be a really nice choice for you as well. Protection and performance, these are definitely a well-balanced glove. You know, very similar in the fact that they have the H5 model, which are $100. To me, these are a little bit more firmer than the H5. A little bit better for protecting, a little better for shock absorption. But you can see it has a really nice wide and flat punching surface. You land on those two front knuckles. So your hand position within the gloves is, you know, excellent. You can see that my hand is tucked in really nicely, and I can really roll my hand over and get excellent crack. But I'd say the best feature as far as glove protection is how well you absorb shock, and it doesn't transfer any of that energy down into your wrist. Everything is nice and stabilized, and it feels like it's almost like a cast, like it's one piece of your hand with these gloves. Really good pop, and overall well-balanced glove. You can use them for hitting the heavy bag if you're doing pad work with your boxing coach. You can also use these for sparring. So definitely a really well-balanced glove, which I like. Cost-wise, these leather version of the gloves are $179, so they're definitely more expensive. I believe their synthetic version of the gloves are $139. So you're paying a little bit more for a more premium glove in terms of the materials. If it was me and I were choosing between the synthetic and the leather version of this glove, I would pay the extra money and go with the leather. Not only because the quality of them are nicer, but also because the glove is a little bit more softer and broken in feeling, which I'm a big fan of. So the break-in period is not as bad as the synthetics, in my opinion, and I'm just a bigger fan of leather gloves. It has a great smell to it. The feel of this compared to synthetic feels much more higher end and more premium. At $179, I mean, comparing to the other gloves that are out there in the same price range, I mean, obviously you can get a pair of Reyes gloves for like $179. I definitely think it's worth it. I'd say if you can wait, maybe get these on sale, that's even better. But $179 is not bad. All things considered, the kind of wrist support you're getting in here, it's a really nice, comfortable glove. Hayabusa's done a really good job of putting kind of the best elements of a lot of different gloves into one glove. Aesthetically, obviously some people are not a huge fan of the way the gloves may look because they kind of have a hybrid look to them. They're not like a full classical boxing glove in terms of the way they look, but you're starting to see a lot more people using these gloves just because they perform really well. I know that Evander Holyfield actually has a pair of the T3s that he trains with, and so you're starting to see more classical boxers, traditional boxers use their gloves as well because they're big fans of them and they find a lot of value in the glove. So definitely I think it's worth it at $179 for these full leather versions. I think the quality is really solid. They perform really nicely, and overall great training gloves. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these leather Hayabusa T3 boxing gloves. I'll see you guys later. Take care.